It is time to talk about the brand new modifier that just dropped on Global Aether Gazer, and that is Ying Zhao. I'm going to showcase my current build. We're going to talk about team comps. I'm going to showcase some gameplay as well, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and impressions on her overall. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you like what you see and get some value from it. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop in and talk about first and foremost her design. I think it's a 12 out of 10. I think the developers knocked it out of the park. I think it's an absolute chef's kiss. We also have the Tonfas, a unique weapon you don't see in many games, and I do appreciate it. She is a melee modifier, so with that being said, you're going to be close combat, and that's not going to be everybody's type of playstyle, which is understandable. For me, I think the gameplay is pretty unique and a lot of fun, and her hits feel impactful, like you're hitting somebody with an absolute truck. But the close combat, I know it's not going to be for everybody, because I think most people in this game gravitate towards range modifiers because of ease of use, also not getting hit as much. But if you enjoy a modifier that's close combat, melee, fast and flashy, all over the place, has super armor and a bit of technicality within their kit, then I think Ying Zhao is going to be right up your alley. I think she does require a specific team in order for her to do the damage that you're looking for. She is a DPS, main DPS type of modifier, so you're going to want to pilot her in order to get the most out of her, but it does require, once again, a specific team. I don't think Ying Zhao is one of those modifiers that you can really slap just in any team and she's going to really perform the way you want her to optimally in terms of damage. I think you really want to put her in a specific team, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So those are my quick thoughts and impressions on her design and gameplay. Let's go over my current build at this time for you. So my Ying Zhao is just base S rank. I have 22,000, a little over CP. In terms of my crit rate and crit damage, 43% crit rate, 56% crit damage. I actually got really lucky when it comes to the skill effects, well, I'll showcase here in just a moment. 10 on the normal attack, 10 on the standard, and 10 on the ultimate. Not too bad, right? Moving over to the skills, fully maxed out. She is, once again, I mentioned this before, a more technical type of modifier, one that is going to require using, practicing, and mastering. So once again, if that's not your type of playstyle, if you're more of a casual player, she might not be for you as well. You really want to take the time to learn her rotations, because she does have variations on her skills, and there are specific orders that you want to do things in order to maximize her DG gain as well as maximize her damage, so that way she's that T1 modifier in terms of damage that you're looking for. But if you're not looking to do that, you can unga bunga with her and just button mash. You're just not going to get the same results that you want. But if that's okay with you, then that's fine. You can certainly do that. Once again, her hits are super impactful. She has super armor on her skills if you do the non-directional dodge. If you do the directional dodge, you can spam her skills. Just tons of fun. There's many different ways that you can play this modifier. It's completely up to you, and I think the ability to express your uniqueness with her is one of the things that has me enjoy this modifier the most, because you can see one Ying Zhao player a certain way, and you can see another Ying Zhao player a completely different way, and it's all good, right? So I do truly enjoy that about her skills and her gameplay. Moving over to her access key, I have it fully maxed out, the Infinity, but I do have the tier 1, just a 5-star general gen zone Functor on her. I do plan on getting her signature Functor, but I thought it would be nice to showcase her with just the standard one, so that way you can see how I use her and how she performs with that, not, you know, needing the signature Functor. Now, is the signature Functor a necessity for her? Once again, I don't think it's a necessity, because I've been using her with the 5-star general one, but I think it's one that you would want to pick up if you're trying to main her and try and make her the best modifier that you possibly can. If this is the modifier for you, and this is the one that you want to really perform at the highest capabilities, then of course her signature Functor is going to be extremely important, because it alleviates a lot of quality of life things that you run into when it comes to Ying Zhao in terms of DGs and stuff like that. So I would recommend her signature Functor, but if you don't have it, that's okay, or if you're not able to get it, that's okay. You can definitely go with the 5-star one here. In terms of the other signature Functors or other Functors that I would go with, I mean, I would really, the standard one is going to be the best one. You can do the armor break one if you have Gung Chen on the team. I think that would be a decent option. The other one right here, increase the ultimate skill charge rate by 48% for 7 seconds whenever a dodge effect is triggered, is actually sneaky good, because you definitely want to trigger the dodge effect with Ying Zhao to get the most DG back. and then her ultimate hits extremely hard, has a nice AoE. So this is actually a very good option right there that you can go with. And then of course you always have the 3-star one if you're a new player to the game. You could definitely do this because it increases skill damage by 6%, which is something that you're doing consistently, so you could definitely do that. Now for the sigils, you're certainly going to want to go with the brand new one, the Barren Flower. It's just tailor-made, right? Increases wind damage and then also increases non-dot skill damage. You're definitely going to want to have that. And then the Acheron's Obol is what I'm going with, and you can see the slots that I have them in. I have them all reconstructed. Here are the skill effects, 8, 5, and 7. Definitely got lucky once again, 3 on the wind blessing, so I made out pretty good here. Skill damage, I got 4 as well. Not too bad, right? With minimal mid-maxing. I did a little bit of mid-maxing, but not a whole lot. So not too bad. Warps, I don't have enough to warp her out, unfortunately. I was working on my Aether, and I got my Aether completely warped out, and I just don't have any more materials when it comes to the warp. So I'm going to be working on that. In terms of the warps, I'm definitely going with the melee, as you can see right here. I'm going with the melee and the executioner. I'm going to do that for 1 and 2. For 3 and 4, I'm probably going to go possibly Aeon Flux. I'm still working on this one. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do here. And I might go Telepathize 1, possibly. It just really kind of depends. Or I might go Savage. Savage gives you a chunky percentage, and you may be with the lower HP consistently with Ying Xiao, just because, once again, melee. So I think Savage might be good, especially if you have you know, some skill issues on dodging and things like that. Savage might be a sneaky good option for you instead of Aeon Flux. Just go ahead and go Savage, and then go Telepathize 1 on 3 and 4. That might be the way to go. And then for 5 and 6, I am thinking about going with the Divine Sense, so that way I can get the DG quickly. Even though when you're using her properly, you can actually get DG very quickly. So you might not have to do this unless you really want to. But I'm also probably going to be going with the ultimate equation for the ultimate skill chain, because I will be using her with Luliang a lot. So that's what I might be going with. And then the skill 3, I am probably going to be going with full sending that as well, just because when I get into God mode, I am spamming the skill 3. So I might be doing that. We'll have to see. I'm going to mess around with that and see what I'm feeling the most. But I'm leaning probably more towards, once again, the skill 3, full send, and then the ultimate equation for the ultimate damage, because I think it hits pretty hard. Anyways, those are the warps. In terms of the codes, I am going yellow code. Now this is the more try-hardy code. This is where you have to optimize the rotations, which I do plan on doing, and optimizing her skills. But what I really like about the yellow code is actually you stay in God mode for longer, meaning you can output, I think, more damage that way if you're using her optimally. So I do like the yellow code personally, but the blue code is probably going to be the way to go for most people, because this is more the unga bunga, not really trying to try hard too much. This is probably going to be the recommended route, where you're probably going to get the most consistent damage out of her this way if you're not using her optimally here and you're not trying hard and trying to be technical with her. So I would recommend blue code. Red code, I probably wouldn't recommend, to be quite honest with you. I would say blue for most individuals, yellow if you're really trying to try hard and be a master with Ying Xiao. But anyways, that is my current build for her. My impressions, like I stated before, I think she's incredibly fun. I think she is pretty unique than most modifiers in the game. She covers a lot of distance. I think the way you really want to optimize her is you want to try and get her dodge, just because the dodge once again brings back a lot of DG for you. You want to go ahead and do her skill 1 non-directional, so that way you get DG that way. You want a basic attack to get as much DG as possible, and your objective is to get to 100 DG so you get into God mode as quickly as possible. Then you want to spam that skill 3 until you're about to run out of DG, and then do the non-directional skill 2, so that way you do a big pop of damage. You also want to make sure you do your ultimate while in God mode, so that way you're getting all the buffs from it. It's just once again, it's a very technical playstyle. Things can get a little hectic when you're using Ying Xiao, so you might not always be able to optimize those things. And when you're dodging, make sure you're dodging into the enemy. That's something that I fail to do sometimes. You want to make sure you dodge into the enemy so you're doing damage, of course, unless they're going to hit you. And then Ying Xiao, you know, you got to be aware of her health, because she has super armor on those attacks on the non-directional ones. Sometimes you don't realize you're getting hit as much. Now, in terms of teams, the teams that I like to put her with, obviously Luliang is going to be her best partner, just because of the wind buffing and the wind shredding. So Luliang is going to be essential. Plus they have the ultimate skill chain, so they work out really, really well together, and they're just a perfect pair, right? So Lu Liang is going to be fantastic. So one team is going to be consistent of Ying Xiao, Lu Liang, and then Ling Wang is going to be the third option on that team. The reason being, once again, Ling Wang has that universal buffing that you could put with the red code, as well as the shield that's going to protect your Ying Xiao from taking too many hits and getting too low of health. So Ling Wang is a phenomenal option in that department. So I would definitely recommend her. Another team that I've been really liking a lot as well is the Tianwan team with Ying Xiao, Ling Wang, and then Gung Chen. And the reason being is because, once again, Ling Wang for the reasons that we just stated, but Gung Chen, because Gung Chen has the CC, and the CC is incredible. The pull is just too great, so it keeps the enemies in place, and she has the knock-up, so that way you can then freely attack with your Ying Xiao and not be afraid of getting hit too often. So that team is incredibly fun to use, and that Tianwan Gen Zone is just incredible as well. So that is another team that I thoroughly enjoy. Or if you want to spice things up, you can do Ying Xiao, Lu Liang, and then Gung Chen without Ling Wang. That is also a possibility. Now, if you don't have Ling Wang for whatever reason, you could definitely slot in Hera, right? Hera's always going to be a good third slot in option. If you don't have some of these other modifiers, you could definitely do that also. And then you could play around with whatever you have, but those are my recommended teams. I think anybody that can buff Ying Xiao and then anybody that can CC is going to be good with her. And then, of course, shielding. So you could do, you know, Aether Thante if you don't have Ling Wang and don't have any other really good options. You could definitely do that for the shields and then whatever buffer you want to put with her. But anyways, those are the team comps that I recommend. That is my build. Those are kind of my impressions on Ying Xiao. I think she's a lot of fun, but she's not going to be for everybody. Once again, if you don't have those specific modifiers, so if you don't have Lu Liang, if you don't have Ling Wang, if you're not trying to really make Ying Xiao the main DPS, and you don't have the supporting capabilities to get her there, that she's definitely going to be a skip. If you don't like the melee combat style, she's going to be a skip as well. And if you don't want to try hard and master them, that she's going to be, in my opinion, a skip as well, because we're getting really strong modifiers coming up here really soon in Mitsuha and in Izanami that is probably going to be more favorable and going to be, you know, easier to use and not take as much effort to get the same, if not more damage output. Actually, not the same, more damage output, and not have to try as hard. So those are the things to consider. But if she is, you know, your type of modifier, the way you like, you know, the way she looks and things like that, then she's going to be fantastic for you. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into some showcase and see what she's capable of. Okay, I thought I would hop into Hazard Cleaner Omega with Gung Chen and Ling Wang. Start with this team. I think this team would be a good team to start out with. Now, once again, I'm just trying to get 100 DG as fast as possible, and I got it there. It doesn't take too long to get there, but the signature functor is going to be very beneficial to get there. Now, as you can see, I'm just spamming skill 3, and I'm using the ultimate skill chain here. I do have Ling Wang on the red code, so we have a chunky shield, we have healing, and we have the universal support as well. So I think the red code is going to be the way to go. Now, while I'm in God mode, I'm going to go ahead and do the ultimate once again to get the buffs from it. Pop it off. And before it ends, I'm going to go ahead and do right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and try and build up the DG to get to 100 as quickly as possible. Let me go ahead and do the skill 1. Get it off cooldown. We're going to go ahead and do this. And that is basically the way I've been using her. Once again, I know I need to optimize that rotation to be a little bit better, and I'm working on that. Right there, we got it. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the ultimate right before the modified mode ends. Try and get all those benefits. And you can see when you use her, once again, I don't have the signature functor. If I had the signature functor, it would be a lot better. Also, another thing is that you want to try and be very quick with your directional dodges and the skill 3, so that way you're getting as many hits in as possible before the God mode ends, and you're doing, once again, as much damage as possible. So that is what I try and I like to do, and this is without the warps. Once I have her warped out, I have the signature functor, she's going to be even more impressive in my opinion, and this was without Lu Liang. So I cannot wait to get the signature functor and have her completely warped out. I think she is phenomenal. Once again, invested into. She is T1 considered. So yeah, you got to keep that into consideration. But with that being said, let's go ahead and showcase the Lu Liang team with Ling Wang now. All right, now this time we have Lu Liang, so now we have the ultimate skill chain. Once again, we still got Ling Wong on the red code. And we're going to just try and get to 100 DG as quick as possible. And let's see. We're going to get it here. So now we're going to go ahead and spam. Spamming. And you could just hear the impact. Let's get the buff. And once again, I got to work at dodging into... By the way, this skill chain is just wild. Absolutely wild. I got to work better at dodging into, and before it ends... Oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And that's also another thing that you have to keep in mind of is your dodges as well. I don't pay attention to my dodges as much as I should, and that gets me into some issues as well. So there's just a lot of, you know, little micromanaging things that you got to keep aware of. But that's what I like about this modifier is, you know, trying to master her to, you know, the highest abilities. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. And see, I sometimes mess up the skill. I try and dodge, and I think I have the dodge, and I don't have the dodge. And that is the Lu Liang team in the Omega Hazard Zone cleaning. Anyways, that is my thoughts and impressions on Ying Xiao. That is my build and my showcase. So once again, I do hope you guys enjoy. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name's Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all next one. Bye, guys.